if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then? Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my my next thing to do. Oh.
So it seems like spring has sprung. So I thought we'd do our opening song with my chant that I wrote called Spirit of Spring. Kind of came to me in a dream, and then I had to keep adding to it while I was awake. So feel free to stand up if you want, and it's got a repetitive part that happens every other line where it says, all of the joy and the love come into my life today. Right? Yeah. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. And then the chorus, it goes a little higher. It goes, all of the joy and the love come into my life today. Like that. So I think you'll get it. I think you've got it, actually. Here we go. I wake up and the sun is shining. It makes the world look bright. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. A song of praise the birds are singing, singing with all their might. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. The Spirit of the Christ is risen, risen within my soul. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. I now am well, I now am healthy, I am healed and whole. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. My heart is full, my eyes are open, everything is new. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. There's just one presence, just one power, only love is true. And all of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. Invite it. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. Affirm it. All of the joy and the love come into my life today. 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 Oh, good job. And is this working out there? Sound check, guys?
Yes.
Okay. All of the joy and the love is coming to my life today on this last Sunday of March. And so I simply want to welcome us to this special time that we have in the morning as a blessing for all, whether you are here in person or online. We are sharing that one mind, that one heart, that one spirit of this unity path. I'm always very grateful that there are so many people that choose to offer their time and talent to allow this time to come together so beautifully. I am simply called a Sunday service leader. I'm Rapali Robinson, and we are being beautifully taken care of this morning by Kathy DeWitt, our musician. Yay. And our stream team and AV team, Bill Lang and Gabe Coleman. Board member on duty, you don't see her, she's out there, Barbara Gordon. And our prayer partner is Jackie Tatum. And last but not least is our beloved speaker, Reverend Betty Martin Lewis, who is offering her final talk as our minister of record. But hopefully it will not be the last time that we have a talk from her. More about that transition later. This morning, Reverend Betty's talk is entitled, Lifted and Enriched by Your Light, and it is here to bless us. I know that I have been uplifted each time she has offered her light-filled messages. And so, Reverend Betty.
I'm going to invite you, yes, to join with me in opening prayer. So if you'd like, gently closing your outer eyes and just moving to that place of inner sanctuary in your heart space, that space of love, compassion, forgiveness, that space of peace, and divine wisdom. And where all divine ideas come in and through and are manifested as us to create a world that works for all and to create with God a beautiful, fulfilling life. And so we are grateful to be here together in fellowship and in love to support each other on our spiritual path as we continue to evolve to the highest and best potential within us, as we claim our high consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the I am, that always was, is, and ever will be. This is who we really are. And we're grateful to be here this morning in fellowship, reminding each other that the Christ consciousness is always with us. And this place of the heart is just waiting for us to continuously return moment by moment. And so it is. Amen and amen.
This is the time of announcements and acknowledgement. So first, just after service, we are serving a potluck, as it is a time of fellowship and farewell with Reverend Betty. So please join us. Those of you online could write in the chat room your wishes for Reverend Betty, and then they can be brought and shared also. Or if you have not, if you want to make that donation and designate it online, that would also be welcome. That can be done through the website or even just mailing to our church office. Another announcement is for our town hall. Town hall at the end of our month, April 23rd. Town hall is not a board meeting. It is a time when the community comes together informally to share with the leadership and the congregants what is on their heart and mind. It is also a time to get your questions asked, your inspirations aired, and for the board to be available in this process of collaboration. That town hall will start right after service at 12:30. Dr. Christine Gilman is continuing to facilitate her class entitled Saging While Aging. There are three more Tuesday mornings left. And this Tuesday, her topic is assertiveness for seniors. If you have been unable to attend the earlier session, it's fine if you come at this time. All are welcome, and it begins at 8:30 here in person. I said that incorrectly. 10:30 to 12 here in person. If you came at 8:30, you'd be a lonely person. Actually, you might not even get in because it's probably locked. As you know, we have these wonderful opportunities called our Unity Yard Days, and they have been such a success that we are planning another one for April 1st, which is next Saturday. And yes, it is April Fool's Day, but we seriously do want you to come and join us and see how spirit plays together. Let's help put our church home together in a way that honors the coming Holy Week, the high holidays of both Palm Sunday and Easter. And I got a quick update from our musician, Kathy DeWitt, that she's being honored to do a celebration of jazz tribute concert, Dave Sloan's, and this will be at the Thomas Center. For the sake of timeliness, I'm going to ask that you speak with her as we fellowship at the potluck. Pardon?
Thursday, March 30th.
Yay, Kathy.
Yay, Kathy, quite the honor. And again, more information, what we call the specifics and the details, are on the weekly e-blast that is ably edited by Sue Henry Young, also called the Unity Messenger. You do have to subscribe, and on our website. There are other classes and events. Now, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Betty.
Would you go ahead and do it? Would you?
I would like to ask the current 2023 Board of Trustees to please come forward. And our president is Gabe Coleman.
Yay!
Our vice president is Phyllis Shepard. Our treasurer is Barbara Gordon. And Donna Bennell is the current secretary. And I sure wish they were all available, but I'm going to give the mic real quick to Gabe just to say howdy.
Well, also, you're a trustee of the board.
Oh, yeah,
Well, I just have to thank everyone. I'm very honored to have been appointed for this role. I've been at Unity since I was 17. I'm 36 now. Cumulatively, I've been on the board for about 7 years. This is the 6th year of a 6-year term, being elected twice, and then in my early 20s, I served on the board for 2 years. So, yeah, to be able to be in this role in my kind of final year on the board for this term it's a real honor, and I'm going to do my best to serve all of you. And give it my all for the church. And love you all.
And now I would like to have Sally come up and read the daily word for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The word of the day.
Ice cream cone up to your face.
The word of the day is joy. The affirmation is, I draw from my wellspring of joy. The scripture is, but the angel said to them, do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. Luke 2:10. There are so many ways to express joy. I may speak words of praise that bring the awareness of even more blessings to mind. I may take joyful action, every step along with the light of God. In living all I do, I celebrate the playful joy of every child, especially the child within me. I express the same happiness whether I am in the heart of a busy city or in the stillness of nature. And then there is quiet joy of just being, the richest joy of all. I rediscover my joy by taking slow, deep breaths, tapping into my wellspring of well-being that never runs out. I feel its energetic flow spilling over into my heart and life. What joy to be a spiritual being, a precious child of God. I draw from my wellspring of joy.
Yay.
Well, I think last time I did this song was when last time I was here, which was the first Sunday of the month. And if I had been here all month, I would have made it the song of the month. So I think it behooves doing again. Burt Bacharach and Hal David. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just saying that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, oh, but just for everyone. What the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the truth.
So, lifted up and enriched by your light. That's how I'm feeling today. Lifted up and enriched by your light. Look over to somebody else and say that. I'm lifted up and enriched by your light. Yeah. And then look at somebody else and say, I'm lifted up and enriched by your light. That's why we come here together. Yeah, to be lifted up and enriched by light, the divine light that's in every one of us. And another name for my talk is simply thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being the light. And tell that to somebody. Thank you for being the light. Thank you for being the light. Thank you for being the light. And I hope today when you go out on the street and you reconnecting with your family, and you see people walking down the street or whatever, just tell them thank you. Thank you for shining your light, for being your light, for sharing your light. I see your light. No greater compliment. And when we can say that with authenticity, with gusto, with true meaning, what we're seeing is the Christ consciousness within the person, right? No matter what they're wearing, no matter what car they're driving, no matter where they live, no matter how they talk, no matter what race they are, no matter how they are similar or different from us, everyone has light to shine. Because that's who we are as spiritual humans. We spent a whole year last year reinforcing that idea that we're spiritual humans. That is the truth of who we are. And so I have such a bittersweet emotion about today, because I'm going to be leaving you today to go to something it's just the next step of evolution of me as consultant, minister, whatever, the work I do. But I know it's all in divine order, and I know it's in divine order for you too. That the space I leave will be filled with even more grace and wonder and spiritual evolvement for this congregation. I know that as we trust and believe in all these beautiful spiritual principles, the foundation of source of all that is, was, or ever will be is just flowing with divine energy constantly, and all we have to do is recognize it, claim it, and express it. That's our job as spiritual humans, to recognize it, claim it, and express it. So I thought today I just wanted to share with you how you have helped me evolve spiritually over the last 2.5 years I've been here. I came here at the end of 2019, and it was kind of a rough time in this ministry at that point. And so I was brought in to do some board training and team building and just, help the leadership come together and look to the future and that kind of thing. And I just felt a connection that very first time I was back in the YOU room where we were all sitting on the cushions and enjoying each other's company. And it was lovely. And I think we have come a long way. I mean, I have been blessed to watch the growth and the evolution of your leadership and the cohesion of this beautiful spiritual community over this time. And of course, then COVID hit. There were all kinds of other challenges that you were facing. And so somewhere near the end of 2020, you called me back to do some more training and consulting. And then I've been around since 2021 and 2022 as your minister of record. And that's kind of a new designation that UWM, the Unity Worldwide Headquarters, that we're a part of that movement, has designated for churches that have been going through times where they can't yet afford a part-time minister or a full-time minister. But you're almost there. That's what's so exciting. You're getting there. You're doing so well, and so I think this experience together has just been beautiful for me, and I just want to, again, thank you. And I'm going to say a few things specifically how I've grown in both my ministerial role, my spiritual leader role, and also in my consulting role through working with you and being part of this beautiful spiritual community. That's how we grow. You know, we say we come here every Sunday to support each other in our spiritual evolution, in our spiritual awareness. That's why we come together, to have a greater experience of the one, this awesome experience in God, and then knowing God is in us. This is why we come together. And so we do our work that way together. Always first thinking about getting centered in spirit and moving from that place of spirit as we do our work together and as we participate on leadership teams or board committees or being part of the board or whatever. I mean, that is all part of that growth. And so in working with you all, I feel that you have really contributed to several things that have helped me get to know my shadow self better. Now, that's a term some people understand and some don't. It's borrowed from the psychological research, and Jung was the one who, I guess, first used that. You know, the psychologist Jung kind of brought that label forward as the part of the ego in us, that human mind in us that wants to protect us but does it in sneaky ways. Anybody got a shadow? Well, he says we all got a shadow. I mean, I don't care if you think you're the nicest person in the world, because we all want to think that, don't we? But all of us have something to heal in our human self, our human ego. And we get clues about that when we get irritated, angry, act out, impatient, jealous, all those adjectives, and sometimes we don't want to deal with that part of us. We don't want to accept it. But what happens then, it just works behind the scenes in our minds, right? In our egos. And it blocks the expression of our Christ self, the truth of who we are, the amazing, amazing spirit within us, that higher self that knows that we're a spiritual being first, right? With spiritual energy, we are divine beings in human form. And somehow this human form ended up with some, physiological and psychological kind of humanness that we all have to deal with in some way. And so, yes, I think working with you, because you've been a loving environment, I have become more patient. So I heard that word. And yes, don't we all want to be a little more patient? That's one of those where it's universal. Sometimes we get irritated. Even Jesus got irritated sometimes, right? He threw the tables over in the temple and stomped out, and Jesus cried, and Jesus laughed, and Jesus felt maybe some fear when he was in the garden, kind of awaiting what he knew was going to happen next in his life. He expressed those human emotions too. But he showed us that we can go within and walk through any situation, any emotional turmoil, with peace, with love, with forgiveness. And so when we beat ourselves up, that's number one job, is forgiving ourselves for anything we may be hiding within us, that we keep continually beating up on ourselves because of some message we learned back in childhood. Some story we're carrying around with us. We all have these stories that we learned long ago, and we hang on to them because sometimes they come up subconsciously. We're not even aware of them. So learn what your story is. That's part of letting the shadow go, and then it no longer can just erupt in sudden ways when we overreact. And so you have given me an environment, an arena to do some work on that. And I'm just grateful that I feel like I have expanded my patience, and I'm more conscious too of making up stories. See, so what's really helpful is when you start making up a story about somebody else's thoughts or emotions. Right? Don't we all do that? I mean, that's just one of those human things. And so when we make up these stories, we can bring them up to say, how do I know that's true? Did I check in with the person about how they're really feeling or how they're really seeing this issue or this problem? And the more we can kind of do that, bring those stories up and question, am I seeing with my spiritual eyes? Am I hearing this with my spiritual hearing? What is below the surface of what I just witnessed? So these are things that, I knew intellectually. See, first we understand things intellectually, but I feel more grounded now because of the experience you've allowed me to have. You've allowed me to make mistakes and still loved me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we've worked together to grow together. So this shadow stuff happens. I mean, we will begin to peel away the layers of that shadow that hold down or are, in a way, they're the stone in the tomb. If we're going to be talking a lot about the Easter story, the shadow stuff is really the stones that block the entrance to the tomb we put ourselves in because of our own human mind making up stories and holding beliefs that no longer serve us. We're not the 5-year-old. We're not the 3-year-old. We're not the 2-year-old that had all those experiences, whatever they were back in childhood. And even the most wonderful parents might say something that is misinterpreted, right? So that, there's a story of a woman who's as a little child heard her mother. There were 6 kids in the family, and her mother was talking to the neighbor over the fence saying how it was kind of a struggle to feed everybody and keep food on the table. And so this little girl took on a story that, I'm creating pain for my mama because I'm one of the kids that's eating the food. And she held that story in her life, didn't even know it was hiding there until she did some shadow work to bring it forth and say, that's no longer true. That's no longer true. I was just a little girl and I misinterpreted what that meant. Now I see that my mama didn't mean she was sorry she had kids and that I don't have any value. I've been dragging this story around that I'm not worthy, that I don't have any value in life. Or some of us drag a story around that it's not safe out there in the world. Some of us drag a story around that it's not safe to express our authentic voice. We all need to get to know the voice of that shadow ego, the voice that is trying to protect us, but it's really not helping because we have surpassed that. Spiritually, we are pure, beautiful expressions of all the qualities of God. All the qualities of God are in each of us. And so it's about recognizing that. It's about trusting that truth. And then learning again to forgive and have compassion for ourselves. And then releasing. You know, in the booklet that's for Lent today is reading about surrender. Surrender, letting go, just letting go of the old stories. So I hope you'll come in touch with one of those old stories you're dragging around today and just say, oh, that was then. That's not who I am now. I'm here to shine my light now. Can you say that? Do you know that? Do you know that the same consciousness is in you that was in Jesus? Gosh, I remember when I got that learning. I've heard it many times, but then you got to get it, you know? You got to embody it. You got to say, oh my God, I am a powerful being. You got to get it. You are a powerful being of light and energy. And just relax anything that gets in the way of that truth and be that self. And so that's what you've helped me continue to move in that direction, to expand and to speak more authentically, and to practice gratitude at a deeper level. I mean, every day I have opportunity to give thanks for you, and that helps me to see in my day all the blessings that I have every day, and just the gifts that keep coming and coming and coming and flowing. And the more we pay attention and acknowledge those blessings, those gifts, the more good is attracted to us. The more good is attracted to us. And so this position that I've been offered at Unity of Sarasota, which I'll be at for 6 months as an interim minister there to help them find a minister, wasn't even on the radar a month and a half ago. I mean, this all happened in the last 6 weeks. And it was divine order. It just sort of fell in my lap. That's how it was just there, you know, is how I experienced it. And I had to say yes. But I'm still saying yes to you because I believe in you. I believe in you as individuals and as a congregation, that you will continue to hold the high watch for Unity of Gainesville, which you have done for 40-some years. You're coming up on an anniversary. I think it's next year, isn't it? Do you know, Lori? There's a big anniversary coming up. It's 40 or 50 years. So you're going to celebrate a big anniversary. Yeah. From this ministry was founded in 1984. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So you got a big celebration coming up. Yeah. So I am just grateful, and you know that ministers teach what they're learning. You see, that's why you have enriched me, because we teach what is coming up for us to learn. And so as you go out today, keep looking within, beyond the physical. Look at the Christ within everybody you meet. and know that that same consciousness that was in Jesus is in you, that you have the qualities of God expressed through your personality, and you want to, keep your personality as clean as possible, work on that shadow individually and as a ministry, because even a ministry has some shadows of the past that continue to be brought forward. So as you move into this new journey that you're on of refreshing, renewing, re-energizing this ministry, don't be afraid to step out. Be bold. Make some leaps. And embrace the communities around you. And do you know that you were on television last Sunday? How many of you saw that ad from, it was ABC Television News? Yes, wasn't that exciting? Unity of Gainesville was in the news with the Crystal Bowl service that was here. And maybe sometime Alejandro can figure out how we could show it maybe on that TV out there or something one day, maybe next Sunday. But it was wonderful. So you might be able to look at it by going to the ABC channel. I don't remember the words of the channel. Channel 20. All right.
He's already got it on his phone.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. So you can find it on your phone. Channel 20 News last Sunday. Or you could maybe go to Channel 20 News and then ask the query Crystal Bowls or Unity of Gainesville or something like that. So, Virginia Walsh. Remember Virginia Walsh. Okay, so that's my parting message, that, you are the light, and just keep shining it brightly and sharing it out in the world. And all good is going to keep coming back over and over, individually and collectively. And I love you all. Amen. So as a meditation, we're going to do something experiential, because I love to do experiential things. I'm going to try to keep it short as I can, because we got some other things we got to do, apparently. So I'd like you to find someone that you don't know very well, and just stand and maybe about 3 or 4 feet from that person, find yourself in a position where you've got a partner of somebody that you don't know that well, not the person you came with, but somebody else. All right, so does everybody know the name of the person standing next to you? That's the one thing is that you'd like to do, okay? And then next is that we'll have Kathy playing some light over meditation music, and you're going to just look in the eyes of this person and see the Christ in that person, and just do that for about a minute or so, and I'll call you back to order, but just be in that place of relaxing your eyes now. Relax your outer eyes and look with your inner eyes at that person. Relaxing your outer eyes, looking at the inner eyes, and see the Christ light shining from that person. And if both of you would be thinking about what the voice of the Christ sounds like in you when you speak from that place of the Christ presence. What does your voice sound like, and how does your body feel? And you just move individually into that place of the higher self, the Christ, that place of spirit within you, focusing on that and looking into the deep spirit of the other person. And remembering to breathe and relaxing your knees a little bit so that your body is supported. and knowing that you are seeing the face of God in the other person. That you see the light of love and wisdom, peace, the light of all goodness coming from that other person. You begin to see that light grow brighter and brighter as the aura of that person illuminates. And you feel your own light coming forth with more vibrancy. There's an expansion in your heart space. Feel that energy now just being exchanged between you two, the circulation of love and peace and harmony. Divine power and energy enveloping, surrounding, enfolding both of your hearts. And remembering this is who you really are. In oneness, in oneness, in oneness. And so now, tell the other person, thank you in your own way, and you may sit down. Oh.
Okay. This song? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This little thing I've been playing around with, and thought I'd share it with y'all. And I don't know, think about Reverend Betty and how she's flying off to leave us, and just what an amazing role model. I mean, she's just ready to go take on the next thing and completely change her life and what she's been doing. And I mean, that's just so, that's brave. It's brave, isn't it? Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. all your life. You were only waiting. You were only waiting. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. Blackbird fly. Thank you.
And we know that Reverend Betty is going to be flying as she gets to Unity of Sarasota. And if she brings as many gifts as she did to us, to them, then they are going to be truly blessed. And this is the time where we offer our blessings, for this is where we give back for the spiritual food we receive, recognizing that as we give, we receive multiplied, and that good comes around in such unexpected ways. So if you would take the offering in your hand, and if you're online, know that we do have an electronic way of gifting. Place it on your heart and say after me, divine love,
My love
expresses in me,
expresses in me,
through me,
through me,
as me,
as me,
and blesses all that I have,
blessing all that I have,
all that I give,
all that I give,
and all that I receive.
all that I receive.
All right, is our beloved Miss Gwen with us? And
like she's
Miss
got company.
Gwen will be coming in to show us what the children and she were working on with today. We will bless the children, and then we will be having the presentation of the farewell gift before we conclude the service with our peace song and prayer of protection.
All right, let's sing about shining our light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine. Unity of Gainesville, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning. She's all dressed, but she forgot her heels this morning. And Resin is her big brother, and he is teaching her how to be strong and sit still. We were talking about being strong today, and we took a toothpick, and Resin, remember you broke the toothpick, didn't you? He was strong. But then I took a nail that represented God, and we put a rubber band around the toothpick and the nail. Could you break it then? No, we couldn't break it, could we? Because we're strong. We're strong when we're bonded to God, just like that rubber band, right? I'm going to steal that from you, Resin, because we've got to keep going for a while. It's Reverend Betty's party. She gets to have a farewell presence.
if you all would stand and make a circle with us. And if we could have, any newcomers also just put their hands up and say howdy. Yee-hoo! All right, this is a friend that came all the way from Puerto Rico, because correctly done, Puerto Rico. And she is here with Gerson. Is there anyone else? I'm doing this, okay. And then 1 second, okay. And then I want to just see, was there anyone else with their hand up? Okay. So Miss Betty, we need you. First, we're going to simply offer her a baggie that has in it a gift that she gets to take out of the wrapping. And then Miss Carla, who's standing next to her, is going to read it. And there are cards that have been signed by the congregants as well. And turn it around. You want to show it to folks? With the azaleas out, no less. Because our azaleas are just so lovely in the spring.
I hope I can do this without breaking down and crying, but okay. So it's not fly forever. No, I know. But Reverend Betty Martin Lewis, yes, you shared your loving presence with us. You led us through the shadows of our darkness. You taught us how to fly in the face of adversity. You showed us how to bring forth our true God self. With gratitude, eternal gratitude, the Congregation of Unity of Gainesville.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The love of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over well. Thank you, 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 thank you.
question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, it's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how